start to record. Good evening, everybody. This is Cristina. This is the new puppy bomb. I have a new puppy. He's 3/4 Aussie and 1/4 Lab, and his name is Mingo, and he is just a sweet boy. So I was really thrilled when I saw that I was giving this class tonight, because then it helps remind me. It's been a while since I've had dogs, and he's a puppy. He's 8 weeks old, and I have to train him and everything. So this will be really good review for me as well. So I am a nationally registered certified master aromatherapist. I've been with Young Living for 22 years. I'm a platinum with Young Living, and I have a passion, an absolute passion about oils and sharing oils with all of you. So let's get started. This is what you're going to learn tonight. You're going to learn that animals can suffer from ailments in the same way that humans do. So humans get arthritis, pets get arthritis as well. I'm going to show you how to help you, how to support your pet's immune system. And remember, it's pretty much the same way for humans as it is for pets. So if you're hearing something that maybe you didn't know or you haven't used for yourself, you can ask me a question in chat. You can unmute yourself and ask me. But 9 times out of 10, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for your pet, and vice versa. I'm going to tell you some safe and natural ways to protect against viruses and bacteria and other microbes. We're going to talk about alternative mood elevating and behavioral modification choices. And of course, with a new puppy, I'm all over this, right? We're going to talk about pain relief without using harsh or harmful drugs and their side effects. We're going to talk about oxygenating and supporting the organs with high antioxidant supplementation. I think we've got somebody new on that didn't get muted. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to talk about parasite control without using harmful toxic chemicals. Specifically in my puppy, I would never put the over-the-counter, Heart's Warmer or whatever they have on the market today, because those are really toxic. Yeah, they kill, parasites, but they can be harmful to your pets too. So I'm just going to talk to you about what I'm going to be doing with Mingo and what you can do to, deworm your dogs as well. Young Living Therapeutic Grade Essential Oils can be used on many different kinds of animal species, from the smallest to the largest, including reptiles, birds, fish, and mammals. I have a fish pond in my yard. It has big goldfish, about, 6 to 8 inches long. They've been in there for years. They just keep growing. And I put Purification in the water, and I put frankincense in the water. And I do this because many, many years ago, there was a woman by the name of Jane, I think her name is Jane Apter, and she had a goldfish that had a large growth on its side. He was in a 20-gallon tank, and she put 1 drop of frankincense, and in the next couple of days, watched that growth shrink. That was an amazing testimony for me. And so I've always thought it can't be anything but healthy for my fish. Now I have a 400 to 600 gallons, it's a huge pond. Well, it's not a huge pond. It's a small pond, but it's a lot larger than if you were to have a tank in the house. So just a couple of drops, I think, is good and can be healthy to your fish. So the information in this presentation is based on Young Living essential oils only, because of their high quality and their testing for purity. The use of any other brand, to me, is taking a risk, because I know that in 2001, we actually had Now brand lavender tested and in Chicago, and we found that it was 83% propylene glycol and 17% lavender. And on the bottle, it said 100% organic lavender. Now, the fact of the matter is that it might have been that 18% or 17%, 17% may have well been 100% lavender. But when you adulterate it or dilute it with something like propylene glycol, which is nothing more than antifreeze, it becomes toxic to the human body. It becomes toxic to the liver. So we cannot trust any other brand. Why can we trust Young Living? Well, I've been part of the distillation process. 4 years in a row, I was part of the distillation process. I know where our oils come from. I know how they're distilled. I know that, that there's science behind it. I know that we test all of our oils. So just don't take that risk with yourself or your animals. And, honestly, people will spend more and care about their animals more than they do for themselves sometimes. So if you're concerned about the health of your pet, then please be concerned about the type and the brand of oils and oil-infused supplements that you use. Many of the treats, animal foods and treats, contain propylene glycol as well. And you need to read the label. You read the label. Please read the labels. They use propylene glycol in treats for pets, cats, and dogs, because it makes it soft, and so they can chew it easier. The best treat you can do, like for training, like my little puppy here. So what I like to do is
Christina,
yes,
it's Nancy. I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you turn the doorbell off? My dog goes insane with the doorbell.
yes, I know.
I'm so sorry.
No,
so sorry to interrupt. Thanks.
No, I get it. I'm so sorry. I forgot.
That's
this
okay.
time. And every single time I remember. No, I guess
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, Nancy. I get it. Okay, play sound. And I don't know why I can't set that. Okay, I need to look into that and see if I can't set it as a permanent default not to come on, because there's no need for me to know when somebody comes on. But anyway, we're good. Okay, so I was talking about, the propylene glycol makes the treat soft. So what I do, the best treat, like a training treat, because I'm in the training mode big time right now with an 8-week-old puppy. And so what I do is I try to get either organic beef or organic pork liver. And I sprinkle it with organic dried garlic. And then I cut it into tiny pieces on a cutting board. And then I put it on a tray and I put it in a low heat, like 200 or 225 at the most, and then dry that liver out. And that is the best, least expensive, healthy treat that you can give your dog. Seriously, and cats would probably love it too. You could do the same thing with tuna, I suppose, with cats. But the thing that I get afraid of with tuna is that much of it is high in mercury these days. So if you can find an alternative that cats just love, like a wild caught salmon, that would be much, much better. Okay, so I say here on the end of my slide to take your animal for regular veterinarian checkups and proper diagnosis. I think if your dog has a lump or he has some digestive issues and you're trying things and they're not working, by all means, go to a veterinarian. I am not a veterinarian. I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing or I'm just making recommendations based on research that I've done and years of being an aromatherapist and being a breeder for 10 years. I was a Sheltie breeder. We had British Shelties. So, and you're going to hear a testimonial on one of my Shelties. So, just use common sense. And, it's up to you if you feel that you need to have your dogs vaccinated. I'm a big believer in titer testing, which usually determines whether or not a dog needs a rabies shot once every 3 years, every 2 years, depending on the weight of the dog, how the dog responds to a vaccination. If your dog is an inside dog and has never really been socialized with other dogs, do you really need to have all those vaccinations? And we can talk about some more of that as we go along. Okay, so let's talk about essential oil and alternative therapy treatments for animals. First of all, I don't know if you guys have heard of doing raindrops on animals, but this is bar none one of the best ways to treat any kind of animal, dogs, cats. A really good book that I'm going to recommend at the end of this presentation is the ADR, the Animal Desk Reference by Dr. Melissa Shelton. And it's Shelton. And I think it's animaldeskreference.com. You can still get this desk reference. And also LSP. Well, I don't know if they don't have the animal desk reference anymore, do they? I don't think they do. So you guys know about as much as I do about that. But I think LSP is, Life Science Publishing is really cut down on their, the number of books that they have. So I recommend the Animal Desk Reference. If you have an old Animal Desk Reference from LSP, it's still really, really good. But the animal raindrop technique uses 9 powerful oils dropped like raindrops and massaged into the spine. I have known of dogs with parvo that have gotten an animal raindrop and have actually had those that sickness, gone. Gary Young is shown here performing a raindrop technique on a mare at convention quite a few years ago, and she was pregnant and she was very, very anxious. She had a lot of anxiety. This technique will relieve muscle tension. It deeply energizes. It allows the body to naturally detoxify. It balances the body's energy, and it supports the immune system and the nervous system. When that mare walked off out of that circle that day, she was as calm as a bunny rabbit. I mean, she was just so different from when he brought her into the stadium there. It was pretty awesome. I'm not going to get into the details of doing an animal raindrop, but again, get the ADR. It has kitty raindrop in there, and it has animal raindrop. Follow the raindrop technique that you would use on a human. And you can get those instructions either on YouTube, or you can buy a raindrop technique kit, and it has the directions inside. And if you have the Essential Oils Desk Reference, it has a whole section on how to give a raindrop to a human. So just adapt it to your pet. There is something called pet reflexology, and you can actually find, for canines, you can find caninefoot.reflexology.com, how to improve circulation, improve balance, promote relaxation, decrease pain, and increase energy. But the beauty of it is that on those reflex points of the paws, you can use essential oils, and it's just going to bump up your treatment. So check out caninefoot.reflexology.com for pet reflexology. Put your best paw forward. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about pet aromatherapy, how it alleviates anxiety, reduces relaxation. I just sprayed Mingo, my new little 8-week puppy, with Hawaiian sandalwood. He was chewing up my sweater, and he is now just resting quietly. So, and he smells so good. It boosts their immune system, and it helps to reduce things like thunderphobia. I used to have a 2-time shelter dog. He was Aussie, and his name is Merlin, and he had been over vaccinated, and he had thunderphobia like no other dog I'd ever had in my home. And I used to use, let's see, was it Trauma Life? Rutavala on his ears and on his paws, and he just calmed down like nobody's business. It's the valerian in that oil blend that really kind of knocks them out. If your dog has a hard time sleeping or is real anxious, then any oils with a mixture of valerian, rutavala, trauma life. Or, you know, start out a little lighter, try other ones that we're going to talk about as we go along. So just take notes. We know that an animal's sense of smell is up to 1,000 times more powerful than ours. And they get these scents very, very quickly. And I think it was really, really helpful when I brought my little guy home on Saturday, his first ride home, and I used Digitize on his tummy just to make sure that he wasn't going to get car sick, and he didn't. Best ways to give your pet aromatherapy is by diffusing essential oils. And of course, if you diffuse for yourself, your dogs or your cats are going to get the benefit of that as well. What it does is it turns that oil into micro-sized particles that enter the air more quickly, giving your pet immediate therapeutic benefits. It gets immediately into the lungs, it goes right into the brain, and this is where we want it. We want it to do its work in the body system. Also, we believe in pet acupuncture. This also relieves animal anxiety. You can use oils on these needles or on the spot. This improves quality of life. It reduces pain. It improves health. It's calming, and its effects can last from days to weeks. So this is a way that you can offer a drug-free way to calm your pet. Pet acupuncture with positive results. Okay, so let's get right into essential oils specifically for a healthy, happy pet. And I hope I'm not going too fast, but there's just so much to cover that the good news is you can go to my YouTube channel and you can listen to this over and over and over again. And you can share it with your folks, you know, your downlines or relatives. And I'm just thrilled to be able to do this for you. So how much oil should you use? I'm going to give you some general guidelines. And there are general guidelines for humans too. But I think that you're going to find, if you've been using oils for any length of time, that a few drops works and a few drops is good. But remember that animals, like small animals, they don't weigh 150 pounds like we do. They might only be 10 pounds. So applying 3 to 5 drops diluted in an 80 to 90% oil mixture is really great. And that's one of the reasons that Young Living came up with the Animal Sense line of essential oils, because they're diluted. No, it's not tummy jives. That's for kids. Well, whatever they are. And see, when I had my dogs, we didn't have those Animal Sense oils. But I'm now that December 1st is coming up and I've got my new puppy, I'm going to get the whole set of oils, and I'm going to get the chews, because I want my guy to have the very best. That's just the way I feel. For larger animals, like, you know, large dogs that are about 60, I would say 60 to 85 pounds, you can apply 3 to 5 drops neat. And neat means undiluted or straight from the bottle. And that's how many drops we would use on us at, you know, I'm just saying 150 pounds on average. For cattle or horses, and I've had some incredible testimonies on horses with strangles, and there was a little Shetland pony that lived about 35 miles from here, and he had founders so bad that he couldn't walk on his feet. So we put together a recipe, and you know that he got better. It was nothing less than a miracle. And I have that recipe somewhere in my archives. This was many years ago, but just know that you can use 20 to 30 drops. You can put it under their tongue. You can put it right on location. just know that you would use a lot more on a, say, a 400-pound animal than you would on a 10-pound animal. So again, common sense, rules of thumb. When you are diluting essential oils, if you're not using the animal sense oils that are already diluted, you want to use a really healthy carrier oil. And I always recommend V6. V6 is organic vegetable oils, thus its name, V vegetable, 6 different oils. And it works very synergistically with essential oils. Gary put this blend together specifically for essential oils. It's all natural, it's colorless and odorless, it nourishes the skin, and it has a long shelf life, and it's non-staining. So you can take this internally, you can rub it on your body, you can use it on yourself and or on your pets. It's made of coconut oil, olive, sesame seed, almond, sunflower, wheat germ, and grapeseed oils. So where do we apply the oils? You can apply it on the paws of your cat or your dog, where absorption is very, very fast. On cloven hoof animals, you want to apply on the tips of the ears and or the spine or both. Just tip the ears with the oil. You can go underneath the lip or on the gums or on the tongue. You can sprinkle a few drops along the spine and then just massage it into the skin as well. So we have a horse here, and horses are really sensitive to the oils. They love the oils. And for a horse, most of the people who have horses that I know, they put it right under the lip. You saw Gary giving a horse raindrop, animal raindrop, that works too. But you can mix it in a capsule. You can mix it with their feed. With large animals, just pull out that lip, and the animal will feel the effect very quickly, because capillaries in the lip carry the oil into the bloodstream immediately. And see, this is another very, very important reason why we want nothing but the best, nothing but the purest. When treating animals with essential oils internally, make certain the oils are pure and free of chemicals, solvents, and adulterants. Okay, so animals that may be jittery or anxious or resistant to essential oils. The oils that you want to use in this case need to be very earthy, calming oils. So applying Peace and Calming or Idaho Balsam Fir or Valor to yourself first, that animal doesn't have to be very close to be able to smell you, and it will already begin to have a calming effect. The great thing about animals with their sense of smell is they can feel calm from 25 feet away. And as they feel calm and, you know, get a little more of a sense of trust, then kneel down or squat beside the animal and just remain still and let them breathe that fragrance in, and it will become calmer and easier to manage. You definitely want to do this if you're taking your pet to the vet. You want to love on it with these types of oils: Valor, Idaho Balsam Fir, and Peace and Calming. When treating an injured or sick animal with essential oils, for example, for viral or bacterial infections, arthritis, or bone injury, use the same oils and protocol recommended for humans. I just, off the top of my head, I will tell you, I have used PanAway on a dog was brought to me that had been hit by a car. The only thing that you want to do is not put PanAway in an open wound. Applying to large open wounds should be have the oils put in a spray bottle and spray it in. Don't just pour the oil in there. After an oil application to an open wound, cover the wound with either animal scents or rose ointment. That seals in that oil and it can begin to heal. And it won't just flash off or dissipate, and it'll actually be in that wound. This also protects it from further infection, and it prevents the essential oils from evaporating into the air. Make sure that you take extreme precaution not to get essential oils in the animal's ears or eyes, because it can sting just like it can for us. Also, when you're whether you're treating an injured or a sick animal or a healthy animal, you want to make sure that your animal drinking water does not have chlorine in it. Never give your animals chlorinated water, because what this does is it suppresses the thyroid and the immune function in animals even quicker than it does in humans. And it can suppress the healing process in a sick animal. So, you know, over the years, I've heard so many people say, yeah, I had to put my dog on thyroid. What are you doing? Thyroid medication. What is going on? Are you choking yourself? Just a minute. My dog is wrapped around my chair. Just a minute. What are you doing, you little silly boy? You got yourself all wrapped around. You're trying to choke yourself. Okay, sorry. Animals first. Okay, so yeah, and then he just lays down and goes to sleep. He says, I'm free, I'm not choking anymore. But anyway, I was saying that a lot of people have said that they've had their pets on thyroid medication, and they've never given a thought to, is my water affecting this animal's thyroid? Because they don't know. They honestly don't know. I mean, if you don't know what you don't know, right? So just know that this is a fact, that no animal should be drinking chlorinated water. It's harmful for us. It's 10 times more harmful for them. And remember too, that quality protein and enzymes are vitally important to promoting healing, which makes the use of organic food essential to maximize the digestion and protein assimilation. I'm a firm believer in dog foods that are as natural as possible. When I was a breeder, I would buy the frozen bowls, they're called, and that was organic meat and vegetables, no grains at all. Then you don't need all that filler grain. And we're finding that all that genetically modified grain is causing a lot of skin allergies and gastro, problems. So just be aware. Just be aware that you don't need to have a fancy dog food. You just need to have an organic, non-GMO, and preferably no grains. And the good news is that more and more of the animal foods out there are touting to our demands. They're giving us what we're asking for. So that's a good thing. There's a lot of misinformation out there on cats and essential oils. And I think that much of it is because most essential oils are adulterated and can cause a lot of problems. Also, again, cats are not very big, and caution should be taken when using oils that are high in phenols, such as oregano, clove, thyme, cinnamon, mountain savory, and tarragon. These oils should be used in high rates of dilution. It means that they're still healthy and can be good for the cat, but it's just that we have to be cognizant that their little liver is processing all of this, and you don't want to overload it. Just watch for signs of oils being too strong. If the cat starts to squint or acts confused or gets extremely sleepy or disoriented, or if it starts vomiting or acting drunk or extremely violent, then you know that something's wrong. And if this has ever happened to a cat because you haven't been using pure oils or you've been using them too strong, just know that oils can do that. especially adulterated oils. One of the great things that I learned when I was putting together this presentation, and I put this presentation together probably, oh gosh, 14 years ago now, and I kept it updated, you know, over the years with the bottles and whatnot. But I learned that cats are amazing self-healers, and that a cat actually purrs in the range of 25 and 50 megahertz. And bone density, as we know from the megahertz of Valor, Valor is 47 megahertz. Bone density is 42 megahertz. So when a cat purrs on a person with a broken leg, for example, it's actually going to help heal and increase the bone density in that bone. Isn't that amazing? So cats are great healers. And so if you have bone issues, get yourself a cat. And just don't overdose it with oils. Just diffuse. Diffusing oils for cats like peace and calming and citrus oils, and you know, they love them. They love them. We're going to talk about a cat with a tooth infection here pretty soon. Okay, so let's talk. Did I miss a slide? Yeah, I did. Let's talk a little bit about oils specifically, so that you can get a point of reference for what certain oils would be good for what. And this is one of the things that the Animal Desk reference points out for you. Like a copy of this whole presentation, just put your email address in the chat and I'd be glad to send it to you. Would you like that? Yeah. Okay, just put your email in there. And oh, I see people putting their email in there now. See, you say it to one, you got to say it to all. No, I don't have a problem with that at all. Just don't look for it in the next couple hours. You know, I'll probably do it in the next couple of days. Okay, so frankincense. We know that frankincense is highly anti-infectious. It supports the immune system, and it's really a favorite for small pets and birds. Now, years ago, I was teaching a class in Nauvoo, Illinois, which is, it was where the Mormons had settled, and it has a temple there and a big following of Mormons in that area. And I was giving a class, and one of the families, I was in their house, and the man was cutting wood in the house to repair or upgrade their kitchen or something. And there was a lot of sawdust, and they had two parrots. Were they parrots? No, they were cockatiels. They were two cockatiels, or were they parrots? Well, they were large birds. It's been many years, so don't hold me to the exact breed of the bird. But he said, my birds can't breathe. And I said, well, it's probably all this sawdust. And I think he had taken it to the vet, and the vet told him that he had pneumonia. I took enough frankincense to put on the end of my index finger, and I put it on the bird's chest. And what it will do, this is good for asthma and, you know, other things like that too. It will begin to open up the airways. And on a tiny bird like that, that's all you needed. I didn't even need to drop a whole drop on his chest. I just rubbed the feathers on his chest. And then I told the bird dad that he needed to continue that, you know, once a day, twice a day, until the bird got better. And the bird was better by the time I quit teaching. I'd been there a couple of days, and it's just amazing what these oils will do. So for this is a favorite for small pets and birds. Use it for wounds and tumors. It's antifungal, it's antibacterial, and it's antiviral. And you can dilute it with V6, which is recommended. Kathleen, you got a new email? PC. Okay, that's fine.
Either one gets to me.
Okay, all right. Dr. Kim Bloomer, who is a veterinary naturopath. She is not a doctor of veterinary. She is a veterinary naturopath. She says frankincense is a staple in their clinic. Dilute and use around the eye to relieve eye infections. Diffuse, dilute, and you can tip the ears or use frankincense in a massage. Okay, let's talk about lavender. Lavender promotes healing for cuts and scrapes and skin problems. So somebody was asking me what you would do for dry skin on their pets. And I would say, first of all, get rid of the grain. If you're not in the GMO, the non-organic foods. And then I would use animal sense. Animal sense is a salve and it's got some healing oils in it. But if you have a cut or a scrape or a wound of some kind, put a little lavender on there and then cover it with either animal sense or rose ointment. This is the #1 first aid treatment. This has also been called the Swiss Army knife, the universal oil. Lavender can be used for anything. It makes the coat shine. It also repels fleas and other insects. So this is good too. And it calms and reduces anxiety. It's uplifting to the pet. Make this part of your animal emergency kit. You can use this neat. You can tip the ears. You can drop it right on a cut or abrasion, or you can mix it with V6 and massage it all over the coat. Okay, this was a testimonial, Oils to the Rescue. Our dogs, she said, used to get ear infections. So we started using Thieves Oil blend every morning in the kennel. As a result, our dogs have not suffered from ear infections. And this is a real kennel out of New Jersey, I think. Having multiple dogs, 14 or so, and occasional puppies that attend the dog shows and doggy school on a weekly basis, we always worry about their health. We diffuse lavender for a calming effect, and also it smells really pleasant for people that work for Mrs. York. Calm staff, calm dogs. Susanna Kiesler. Another great oil for us and for our dogs is lemongrass. And I'm going to give you a great testimonial on one of my best friend's dogs. This was years ago. Abby is gone, but I want to tell you about how lemongrass regenerated her connective tissue and how you can use it on torn ligaments and muscles. It's highly antifungal as well. And that research was published in Phytotherapy research on topically applied lemongrass for its powerful antifungal properties. So any kind of, even on humans, toenail fungus, lemongrass is #1. It's highly anti-inflammatory. It repels fleas and other insects. It calms and reduces anxiety, and it improves circulation. So let's look at Abby. This is Abby, and I remember Abs. She was so cute. She was her 7-year-old Sheltie. And one day she couldn't get up. So Cherie, the good mom that she was, rushed her to the vet. And after her exam and x-ray, they were told that the tendons and the ligaments holding her right kneecap in place were torn, causing her kneecap to slip. She would need surgery to correct it. But in the meantime, the vet gave her an anti-inflammatory medication and said to give it to her for a week and then bring her back and he would schedule surgery. She says, I started using lemongrass on her knee and her leg 3 times a day, massaging in well, and then I would wrap it in an ace bandage all night. After 3 days, Abs was up and running around. After a week, we took her back to the vet for her follow-up. He couldn't believe that she was walking as well as she was. And he said, that anti-inflammatory pill that I gave you must have really worked. Cherie said, I handed him the bottle of pills and told him I hadn't used any of them. He wanted to know what I did. And I told him that I used Young Living lemongrass essential oils. He x-rayed her knee again and could see where the tendons and ligaments were already healing. The vet couldn't believe the change between the 2 x-rays. No surgery, thanks to lemongrass. Lemongrass became Abby's oil. Every time Cherie would open a bottle of lemongrass, Abby would come running and lay down for her to rub it all over her. So, and that's how our pets bond with the oils, with us. Something makes them happy, they're not going to forget it, right? Okay, PanAway. We know that PanAway contains wintergreen, clove, helichrysum, and peppermint. We also know that it's good for arthritis, rheumatism, tendonitis, inflammation of bones, broken bones, muscles, and joints. PanAway is the #1 oil for bone healing. It's the #1 oil for bone healing because, first of all, the wintergreen is an anti-inflammatory. The clove is an analgesic. The peppermint is an anti-inflammatory, and it brings that good blood into the area and takes out the bad. And helichrysum is highly regarded for nerve damage or nerve tissue problems. So it's got it all in there. It can be used for acute injury, dental extractions, or post-surgery. Like if you have to get your dog fixed, use topically to kill pain where there's no open raw tissue. Remember I was saying you don't want to put PanAway into an open wound. It's also an important oil to add to your emergency kit. It says mix with V6 and massage affected area. Do not apply PanAway to open wound because it will sting and traumatize the animal. Instead, use helichrysum and balsam fir to reduce bleeding and pain. You can put plain helichrysum in an open wound, but don't put PanAway in an open wound. All right, peace and calming. This is a calming blend, and it's TeaAway is the equivalent. The Animal Sense TeaAway. I have heard nothing but good things about it. So again, I'm looking forward to getting my own puppy oils so that I can have his own oils, his own emergency kit for riding in a car. If they're traumatized by riding in the car, they get anxious in the car. Peace and Calming or TeaAway are both really, really great oils for that. This is great for abused or neglected animals. Or if you have an arrival of a new animal or a new baby into the family, they feel shunted, you know, so you want to give them some love with some calming oils. It will relax and promote peace of mind and a quiet spirit. You don't have to just rub their fur with it. You can put it on their collar, especially if they have a cloth collar or a leather collar. That little collar can be used as a diffuser. You can put it on their blanket. You can put it on their favorite toy. Just remember that there are other ways that you can administer these oils. So again, it relieves fear, anxiety, behavioral problems, and overexcitement when traveling. Another great oil to use while traveling is peppermint. Also, this one is a great oil to use during training sessions. And I've been training my dog 5 to 10 minutes up to 6 times a day, just teaching him how to watch and touch. It's 2 commands that service dogs learn very early. So using the peace and calming with that will just reinforce it. So here's peppermint. And the reason I said peppermint is great because if you're traveling, it's going to help with any nausea and any motion sickness. But it also repels fleas and ticks. It cools and invigorates the skin for overheated horses and dogs. You can drop it into their water. Just don't put too much in if it's a small dog. Maybe a drop in a gallon of water and then, you know, dispense the water from a refrigerator or something on it to fill up the dish. Do it that way. I know I had a girlfriend that had a Shih Tzu. I think, yeah, it was a Shih Tzu. And she used to weep from her eyes all the time. And her coat would get discolored because of that. So she took an empty bottle of Ningxia Red, an empty glass bottle, and she filled it with water and she put 1 drop of citrus fresh in it. 1 drop of citrus fresh. And she would keep it in the fridge, and then she would dispense that into her dog's water dish. And do you know that that discoloration went away from her eyes with just that little bit of citrus fresh? And I don't even know where she came up with it, but all I know is that it works. So that's pretty cool. Peppermint is also supported to the respiratory system, and it's an analgesic and non-infectious for acute injuries. Dilute this oil when using on cats and other small animals. I'm probably going to have to get some more water here. Oh, yeah, this is a cool testimonial. So this Rebecca had adopted a 1 pound Chihuahua, and his name was Gus. He was only 8 weeks old, and he had severe kennel cough 24 hours a day, and he couldn't sleep. She applied peppermint to her hands, and she petted him from the neck down over the course of the next 2 days. And in 24 hours, the cough was clearly sporadic rather than constant. And by the second day, it was completely gone, and Gus was sleeping through the night. Just peppermint. That is amazing. So this is a good time to introduce Thieves, because Thieves is a blend. If you're new to Young Living or you've not heard of Thieves, Thieves is a blend of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. And it's excellent. We have a Thieves cleaner and we have a Thieves essential oil blend. We have other proprietary products as well, but these are the only two we're going to talk about tonight. The Thieves cleaner is a must-have when cleaning kennels, in shelter settings, hosing down stables, cleaning pet areas, adding to the laundry for pet bedding or whatever. It's the strongest anti-infectious essential oil. It is antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral. It's analgesic. It's specific to dental problems, and it's antiparasitic, especially for ticks. You can use it on all pets with proper dilution, and you can diffuse it or use it topically or with oral applications, which we're going to hear about a testimony on a cat's dental infection. You can use it as a raindrop oil, just dropping it along the spine like drops of rain. And remember, for a small animal, 2 to 3 drops is far more, diluted is what I'm recommending. Use Thieves household cleaner in a spray bottle for cleaning, by the way. Okay, let's hear about Whitey. So Whitey was Pam's cat, and when this is many years ago now, but when Whitey was alive, she had a bad, or he had a bad infection in the gum around his molars on both sides. So she took 3 drops of Thieves and she diluted it in about 6 tablespoons of V6. And she dipped a Q-tip in to the mix and swabbed the gum area twice a day for about a week. He was eating after about a week with no discomfort whatsoever, and the infection was gone. Whitey says the Thieves worked perfectly. And Pam was the one that helped me create this presentation many, many years ago. Dee Broughton of Sandyston, New Jersey says, I would recommend Thieves oil for any kind of infection, including kennel cough, pneumonia, upper respiratory infection, and canine flu. And again, the ADR, the Animal Desk Reference, will specifically call out any of those issues and what to use for it. So Dee Broughton is a professional dog trainer and canine behavior specialist, by the way. It was neat when we were getting these testimonies together and talking to these people. Another great oil blend is Purification. And Purification is a blend of lemongrass, rosemary, melaleuca, alternifolia, myrtle, citronella, and lavender. It kills odors, bacteria, molds, and funguses. It kills anaerobic bacteria, which requires little or no oxygen in deep tissue and organs. It purifies and cleanses bacteria from the air. It neutralizes odor in general pet areas and noxious litter box odors. You can put about 10 drops of purification in about a cup of baking soda and mix it in the litter box where your cat, uses, where your cat goes, and it will make a world of difference. It will make a world of difference. It repels bugs and insects and relieves itching from insect bites. And you can use this to sterilize wounds as well. Again, if you have an open wound, make sure you cover it with animal scents or rose ointment. It's great in the laundry when washing animal bedding, and it neutralizes poison from stinging bees, wasps, hornets, horsefly bites, and brown recluse spider bites. Dilute it with V6 to clean smelly ears or kill mites. So you're going to dilute it in a little dish, and then you're going to dab the cotton ball, and then you're going to wipe the insides of the ears. You're not going to pour oil of any dilution or any strength directly in an ear of any animal or yourself. But you can use it for ear infections by putting a drop of purification on a cotton ball and then placing it inside the ear overnight. And that's going to be fine. It's going to really be amazing. Another great blend is RC. RC is antiseptic, but it's specifically for respiratory conditions. That's what RC stands for. It supports the respiratory system and it relieves allergies. It combats lung infections. I just made up a blend called Daily Shield. It's on our team page, and I don't know it off the bottom of my, or at the top of my head, but I even made my own, I made myself a bottle, and it has RC in it, and it's great to shield ourselves or support. And I was going to show you the bottle here. I've got it in my purse. Find something, then it's never right there, right? Well, I don't know where it is right now, but it's called Daily Shield. And if you're really interested in it, and you're not part of my team, which is fine, you need to ask me for that recipe, Daily Shield. And I sent it to my granddaughter's mother-in-law because she had some interstitial lung disease after she got the COVID vaccination. And she's had an incessant cough ever since. So I wanted to send her that. And then my granddaughter had gotten COVID. Both my granddaughters got COVID, and they still were having trouble breathing. So I sent him that that blend as well. So I sent him a couple of bottles, but it has RC in it. And RC has Eucalyptus globulus, Eucalyptus radiata, Eucalyptus citrodora, myrtle. Myrtle is good for supporting the thyroid too, by the way. It has pine, spruce, marjoram, lavender, cypress. Cypress is good for increasing circulation, and peppermint in it. It is a really great oil to decongest sinuses. And I don't know if you knew this, but RC has been proven to dissolve bone spurs. For the feet, especially like on the bottom of the heel, just be diligent applying it. You have to apply it 3-4 times a day, wherever that bone spur is. And it might take 6 months, but it will dissolve it. It will definitely dissolve it. Okay, the next oil we're going to talk about is Valor, known as chiropractor in a bottle. And it's very effective for improving structural misalignment. It also restores confidence and bravery. I had a really, really shy Sheltie. Her name is Nikki, and she was a mess. And I had to use Valor on her all the time. She wouldn't come out from under the table. She wouldn't come out from under the door. She just wanted to hide all the time. She was really, really shy. So I started using Valor, and it kind of encouraged her to be more part of the family. You can place drops on the collar or on their leash. You can diffuse it or use it topically. I used to just rub it all over her fur and put it on the tips of her ears. You can drop it on a cotton ball and then place it in her area. This is a great oil when you're gonna train. If they're aggressive, you're gonna want to use peace and calming. If they're shy and don't want to participate in the training, then you really want to use Valor. Also, this is good for skin masses, itching, allergies, and helps to alleviate fear. Valor has, I'm not going to tell you what it's in Valor because we've changed that recipe over the years. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some supplements for healthy, active pets. The first one you might not even consider a supplement, but I do. It's Digitize. Digitize is a great way to deworm, but so is Parafree. You can use Digitize internally. You're going to have to be, you're going to have to kind of use common sense here, depending on the weight of your dog. That's why I tend to use Parafree. I give my dogs 1 capsule of Parafree at 21 days, and then off 7 days, and then on another 21 days. And they only have to be wormed once every year. But if you use Digitize on a regular basis, giving them tummy rubs, like if you have a dog with gas or upset stomach a lot, doing tummy rubs with Digitize is going to help with parasites as well, because it gets absorbed into the skin. It also helps immensely with relieving hairballs for cats and constipation. And it soothes the stomach, and it should definitely be part of your animal emergency kit. You can rub it on the stomach area. You can mix 1 drop with tuna and its juice to feed a cat. You can mix it in food for dogs or rub daily on the pads or paws. So if you have a hearty eater, put a few drops in their food, especially when you know it's their hungriest part of the day. Because you feed, like I feed my puppy 3 times a day right now at 7, noon, and 4. And his best meal, I think, is breakfast, you know, because he's gone all night without food. So I would put a couple of drops of Digitize in his food, and that will help to deworm him. Another great supplement is BLM. Do not use BLM in the powder form. You must use it in the capsule, as this contains xylitol in the powder form, which is toxic to animals. It's not toxic to humans, but it is to animals. So just remember, if you're using BLM to support bones, ligaments, and muscles, you want to use the non-powdered. You want to use the one in capsules. This one, it's got collagen 2 in it. It's got glucosamine and chondroitin in it. It is an amazing supplement. I would not be without BLM myself as a 68-year-old woman. It speeds healing of bones. It strengthens and rebuilds damaged joints and cartilage. It can combat arthritis, inflammation, and pain. And again, it contains glucosamine. You can open the capsule and sprinkle it on their food. If they're not real open to, you know, taking a capsule, or if it's easier for you, just sprinkle it on their food. Trauma Life is another essential oil blend, and this is just what it says. It is for trauma. It's excellent for abused and neglected animals. Every veterinarian's office should be, you know, having these oils available so that they can use them on a traumatized animal that comes into their clinic. Any animals that experience separation anxiety, Trauma Life is really good. I mentioned that I used it on Merlin along with Rutavala, not at the same time, but I would use either or. for thunderphobia or fear of storms. For injury or accident, this is traumatizing. So use Trauma Life. Used for pre and post-surgical procedures like spaying and neutering. It's a must-have in your animal emergency kit. I rubbed it on their paws and tipped their ears. This is not one that I would recommend they ingest at all. Just rub it on their paws, tip their ears, put a drop on your hands and just rub it through their fur. For example, a dog's fur is different than our hair in that it's tubular and it actually picks up the aromatic molecule and sends it down into the body systemically. So it kind of, they're kind of like little hundreds and thousands of antennas that pick up the oils. It's really quite amazing. Another thing that you should be using, a supplement that you should be using, especially for older dogs that are having a hard time digesting, is essential zyme. It aids in digestion. It eliminates toxic waste and gases. It breaks down proteins better. It establishes proper enzyme balance and improves intestinal flora. And this will, if your pet has a healthy digestive system and you're using oils like Purification and Digitize on a regular basis, you're not going to have a parasite problem. You just have to be consistent, like everything else. K and B supports kidney and bladder function. It increases kidney filtration. It's great for kidney and urinary tract infections and purifies the urinary tract. It is a mild diuretic. You can mix a few drops in drinking water, or you can give your pet diluted Ningxia Red. Yes, you heard it here. There's some great testimonials on using Ningxia Red with your pets, and especially really sick animals. They need Ningxia Red, and you can add things like K&B to it, and it'll just help support their kidneys and bladder. Rehemagin is also something that we can give our pets. This cleanses, purifies, and disinfects and builds the blood. It's a powerful liver and gallbladder protectant. It supports the pancreas and the stomach and stimulates the adrenal glands. So on older dogs, this is a must. It increases their energy. It's antifungal. It prevents cellular mutation, and it combats circulatory dysfunction. So why wouldn't we use it, right? Why wouldn't we use it as humans? We should be using more Rehemagin. Just mix a few drops in your drinking water. For humans, it gives you the dosage on the back of the bottle. Sulfurzyme, especially if you have an older dog with inflammation, arthritis, hip dysplasia, they're in a lot of pain. I'm not saying that it's going to fix hip dysplasia. Don't take that to the bank. But what I am saying is that it will help with their pain. Let me just say it's equivalent to giving your dog an ibuprofen, except this is natural. Sulfur is a natural healer. And I'm not talking about sulfa, like in sulfa drugs. There's a big difference. Sulfur is a mineral that we're quite deficient in. And if we're deficient in it, our animals are probably deficient in it as well. One of the things that you're going to see happening with the use of sulfurzyme with your pets is that it's going to give them the shiniest, healthiest looking coat. And it'll give them great skin. I suffered with a lot of skin issues from Gulf War syndrome. I was in the first Gulf War in the United States Army. And one of the things that really, really helped me keep my skin healthier was sulfurzyme. I would not be without sulfurzyme. I love it. Not to mention that it gives you healthy hair and healthy nails. It's suggested for pre-diabetes along with coriander and or ocotea. Ocotea also helps with high blood pressure. So it's just a double goodness, right? Blood sugar, blood pressure, just a double goodness. You can mix sulfurzyme in their food, and there is no fear of xylitol in this. Life 9 this bottle is probably changed. I didn't think to change this. But Life 9, yeah, Life 9. I keep gonna change that 5 to a 9, but I did change the bottle. This is the probiotic, and it's always healthy to take a probiotic, especially during, in the evening. In the evening, don't take a probiotic in the morning, because it really does its best job while we're sleeping. So 2 hours before you go to bed, go take your Life 9, or give it to your dog, or give a quarter of a capsule to a cat in its food, in its last meal. It promotes immunity. It aids in resisting infection. It's going to help with that healthy gut, and having a healthy gut is going to have a healthy body. It colonizes the gut with friendly bacteria. Another one that you might consider supplementing your pet's diet with is Omega-Gize, because this too is going to promote healthy skin. It's going to support the nervous and the cardiovascular system. It's got these wonderful omega-3s made from fish oil, and it's formulated with vitamin D, CoQ10, and other essential oils. It improves eye, brain, and joint health. It's much more specific for carnivores than flaxseed oil. So they'll love it. They will love it. Put it in their food. Multigreens, if you have a dog or a cat that is lethargic, doesn't have any energy, it's going to maintain healthy energy levels. It does for me. I'm very, very grateful to my multigreens. So it boosts vitality, it relieves stress, it strengthens the immune system, it's powerful cleansing, and an antioxidant formula. It prevents thyroid hormone deficiency and estrogen imbalance as well. And here's that beloved Animal Sense. And do I have a story for you? Remember that Animal Sense seals and disinfects open wounds and seals in the essential oils so that they can do their job. It's also a very soothing salve with wonderful oils like palmarosa, geranium, patchouli, Idaho balsam fir, tea tree, myrrh, and rosewood. It assists with post-surgery healing. It's only for external use, by the way. And it's good for nursing mothers who have sore or inflamed teats. All right, I'm going to get some more water. I'm going to tell you about Theo as soon as I get back. All right, sorry guys. Body needs water. So I told you I was a breeder, and I bred British Shelties, and this was my Sheltie Theo. Theo was the best dog ever, and I'm really I prefer male dogs, so he was my heart. I think that he had gotten bit in the yard at the root of his tail and on his back, but I didn't notice it until the wound was really bad. He had so much hair that I never saw anything. I smelled it. So I took him to the vet, and they cleaned it. What do they call it? Not abraded.
Irrigated?
No. Well, I can't think of the word right now.
Debrided.
Debrided. Thank you. Debrided. Yeah. They cleaned it all up. That's what that means. Cleaned it all up. And then he said, I don't know what to do, because the wound on his back was about the size of a small dinner plate. And so we had some skin grafting flown in, and because he said, I can't stitch it up on the back because his belly's so big. And it wasn't fat. It was just, it's just the nature of the dog. Their bellies are hanging down and it will pull the skin on their back. So he said, if I stitch it up, it's just going to tear it out. So let's put some skin grafting. Well, the skin grafting didn't take. I think I paid $225 for a piece of skin graft. And then I don't remember how much it was. This is quite a few years ago. This was at least 17 years ago. But anyway, the grafting didn't take. So the only other thing that he could recommend was to put him down. And I wasn't willing to let Theo go. So I said, I want to treat him at home and use my essential oils. So this is what I did. I started cleaning the wound 3 times a day. So I was working at the time. I was working at Scott Air Force Base. I was a government contractor. And so I had to put a cone on his head, and I'd come home from work every afternoon and clean this wound. And I cleaned it with saline. So I got saline from like Walgreens, right? And I mixed in the saline, I mixed heliochrysum, lemongrass, melrose, and a bunch of other oils. But those were the main oils that I used. And I would take a baby diaper and I would smear the baby diaper with animal scents. So I would irrigate that wound really good every 3 times a day, put this diaper on the inside of a little girl's size 10 bathing suit, and put that little girl's bathing suit on Theo so that the wound could be covered by this diaper. Because otherwise, I would have had to wrap him, and this bathing suit worked perfectly. I got a dark blue bathing suit with silver stars, and so we called him General Theo for a while, as not to hurt his feelings that he was looking like a girl in a girl's bathing suit. After the healing was complete, that scar was no bigger than $50. It took about 3 months, if I remember correctly, and it was miraculous. It was literally miraculous. I saved my dog with essential oils. And I mean, maybe not everybody would be that diligent. I don't know, but he was worth it. And so think about, if you have a wound and somebody wants to put your dog down or your cat down, at least try the oils first. I believe they'll work. I do want to mention, while we're on the subject of loving our pets as much as we do, that there are a lot of cancer-causing ingredients out there in things like flea, tick, and mosquito products. Don't ever put a flea or tick collar on your cat or dog. I am not a believer in feeding them medications to keep them from getting bit, when we have oils that will do the very same thing. Those products also, they contain neurotoxins and cancer-causing ingredients, which can cause damage to their kidneys, alter their thyroid function, and affect behavior. Natural prevention comes in the form of good health, diet, removing environmental and internal toxins. And a healthy animal is not an attractive host to any parasite, and is the first step in controlling parasites. If your animal is healthy, it's like a healthy garden. Bugs don't eat up your garden if you keep your garden healthy. It's like a healthy body. We won't get eat up with disease if we keep our bodies healthy and our immune system up. So he's a doctor of veterinary medicine, Michael W. Lemon, states, popular flea collars often contain powerful nerve gases. They can kill some fleas, and they can also kill some pets, and can do damage to children and adults handling the pet wearing the poisonous flea collar. That had to be said. We also have animal scent shampoo. This is what I'm going to be using on my dog when I give him his first bath. It cleans all types of animal fur and hair. It conditions their fur. It repels insects. It protects the skin and coat. It rids the hair of lice, ticks, and other insects, and it's safe and all natural and effective. It leaves the coat shiny and it smells pleasant. Here is Parafree. This is what I give my dogs to warm them. As a breeder, I used only Parafree. on my puppies. Back in the day, we had a Parafree that came in a glass bottle, dropper bottle. And we had the capsules, and I used the glass dropper bottles on their food. But now I just put that capsule, you know, in the back of their mouth and they swallow it. So you just have to be diligent. You have to keep using it until, and it's really good for their digestion. I take Parafree randomly because I know that it's supportive to my digestive tract. So it maintains a healthy internal environment, it supports natural defense system, and it's great for internal cleansing. Parafree is something that we as humans should have on our shelves and be taking, you know, like I said, randomly at best, no, randomly at worst, following a 21-day protocol, off 7 days and on 21 days, that's at best. And you should do that once a year, at least once a year. And that will get rid of most parasites in general. Ningxia Red, I can't go without talking about Ningxia Red. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. It's the highest antioxidant liquid dietary supplement from whole food sources. Give it to your pets. If they'll drink it, give it to your pets. It is, it will help reverse many signs of aging. It prevents heart disease. It can protect against cell mutation. It's good for healthy joints and muscles. It has orange, lemon, and yuzu oil in it, and this prevents cellular mutation. Lemon promotes white blood cell formation and increases immune function. There's been many tests recorded in PubMed.org on the effectiveness of lemon oil increasing leukocyte and lymphocyte production in the bone marrow. So good stuff, good stuff. So you should have a healthy pet plan. And the first thing that you should do is subscribe to Save so that you have a membership with Young Living and that you can be getting stuff on a regular basis. That says essential rewards, but anyway, what would you put on subscribe to Save? You would put Sulfurzyme, Digitize, and Trauma Life. That's a good month's supply of stuff. I'm going to put my chews. I'm going to put my Animal Sense oils. I have Animal Sense ointment already here. I'm looking forward to using my chews. I got to make sure that I get my shampoo. I have plenty of V6 and multigreens because I take them, but I'm going to add multigreens to his food. Even as a puppy, this is great for him. And of course, we get Ningxia Red every single month because we take it every single day. Another suggestion for subscribe to Save with Young Living. And if you have any questions about this, just get together with the person who invited you to this class. If you don't understand how getting a membership and subscribing, having a monthly subscription works. If you're brand new and you just want to try the oils once, that's fine too. There's no pressure. We're not here to shove anything down your throat. We're here to have healthy pets. So this is a really good monthly order too. Your Parafree, your Animal Sense ointment, and a bottle of lemongrass. Start adding oils, you know, your emergency oils, your first aid kit oils on a monthly basis. And then it won't break the bank in 1 month and you'll be building up a stash. It works that way. Here's a picture of the ADR, the Animal's Desk Reference. I have it on my shelf up there. And again, you can get it from animaldeskreference.com. I don't believe that Discover LSP has the essential oils animal desk reference anymore, the one you see on the right. I think you might be able to find Dogs 101 at, I think it's healthyhomes.com. Just do a Google on Young Living Essential Oil Guide for Dogs, Dog 101. You might be able to get it, you know, from different places like Etsy or Amazon. You never know. I want to thank you for spending over an hour with me tonight. I know I plow you with a lot of information. You know, it's just that I feel it's important that we impart this to the people that we care about. And I want, if you're already a part of Young Living, I want to thank you for being with Young Living, because you've made the best choice you could ever make in life, other than your partner and maybe having children and getting that new puppy. So I'm going to let you go for tonight. I am going to turn off the